Hey Josh. Hi Anthony. So I had an idea for a movie. Oh, nice. Let's hear it.
So I had this idea for a movie. And it starts with a man who was wrongfully... No, actually, he's in prison for a crime he didn't commit. And he has to escape to prove his innocence.
Okay.
So he has to escape to find evidence or something, I'd guess, to prove his innocence. And maybe he's working in cahoots with the warden. So there's a daytime warden and there's a nighttime warden.
Are they brothers or anything?
Yeah,
Or a married couple?
maybe brothers. Maybe one's there's Dan and Don, and their last name's Warden. Dan Warden, Don Warden.
Yeah, they were born for the job.
Yeah, so Don Warden's the night one.
They're born into the job. Their dad, Mark Warden. It's like long line of wardens.
And Shane Warden. So Don Warden is the night warden, and he says to Gus, the man in prison trying to escape.
Oh, obviously.
He says, "Look, I've got."
You use Gus quite a lot. You know that?
Do I? Okay. It's just the first name that comes to my head. All right. What about Vinny?
Sure.
That sounds like an innocent man.
Yeah, that's your Italian bias showing.
So Don, the night warden, says to Vinny, look.
So now again, Don and Vinny, this is very mob like names.
Yeah. Dan's the night warden.
Oh,
now.
okay. Okay.
So Dan says to Vinny, look, don't worry about my brother Don. I'll take care of him. I've got 7 trials. You have to.
Wait. So why are they even in cahoots?
Because Dan knew Vinny on the outside. So Vinny was a mortgage broker maybe, and he helped him get a good loan. Or...
So is he in prison for financial crimes?
No, murder.
Okay. So but he's done a lot of financial crimes, but they never found out about those ones.
Exactly. If the ATA doesn't know, then Don and Dan Warden don't either.
Hey, fair enough.
So yeah, Vinny's dabbled in financial crimes, but never been caught out. One time...
Who hasn't?
This murder. We need to get more into the murder, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah, before don't forget that there's gonna be 7 trials.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear all 7 of them. Far out.
So the murder.
Yeah.
All right, help me out here.
Okay, well let's make the murder connected to Dan Warden a little bit. So he knows he wants Vinny out so Vinny can help avenge the death of whoever he's connected to that was murdered. Maybe their dad, Mark Warden, the original lineage warden.
Yeah. So Mark. So like he murdered Mark.
No. They think he murdered Mark. And that's why Don hates him, but Dan knows that he didn't do it. Yes.
And I think there should be some sort of like internal family stuff going on between Don and Dan just to add some tension.
Yeah, for sure. Like the fact that one of them believes that Vinny killed their father and the other one doesn't.
No, I was thinking more like they have the same wife.
Oh, yeah. That is very tense.
So...
Do they just... Oh, I get it, because they're always on opposing shifts because it's a 24-hour, it has to be covered. So the wife said, I'm not marrying some bastard that's always away for 12 hours of the day. And
well, marry both of us.
Why don't you marry both of us? And she says, well, that is a compromise I can get behind. Yeah. So she's winning, by the way. She's loving her life. Happy wife, happy life. But these two, they're finding it a little bit awkward.
Do you know what's really good about this idea? Is
Tell me.
The spin-off sitcom about the Warden family.
Yeah.
But we can get into that in another episode. So for now, we're focusing on this movie.
Okay, if we have to.
Yeah. I've got no name yet. I was going to say which is, but there's no name. So
I know what it is. It'd be something to do with the word warden.
Yeah, Wardon and Warden.
The War Dom. Maybe he should be named Dominic, not Vinny.
Dom. All right, so Vinny is now Dom.
Okay.
Dominic. And Dan is the night warden, Don's the day warden. And
wait, is he friends with Dan, right?
Dan and Dom are friends.
Dan's a night warden. I get it. So that's good because you want the cool stuff to happen at night. You know, during the day, it's when they're getting like
more expensive to shoot,
cracking rocks and
looks better. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't want to see a guy like I don't know wring suds out of a prison uniform. So Dan,
I'm glad we both know heaps about prisons, by the way. So this is going to be very authentic.
Yeah. So the first scene is Dom. It's okay. It's nearing the end of his shift. He's wringing out suds from multiple uniforms into a suds bowl.
Vinny is, yep.
Dom.
Oh, Dom. Sorry, Dom.
Yeah, he's Dom now.
Yeah.
Dominic Vincent Vincenzo is his full name. DVV.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was his nickname.
I think Dom would have been an easier nickname than DVV.
DVV. And sometimes I'd call him DVD. Not a fan.
A bygone nickname.
So just Blu-ray. Yeah, Blu-ray, get over here.
No, that's the guy that gets all the Blu-ray smuggled into prison. That's his nickname. That's a different guy. So the DVD and Blu-ray.
Yeah.
But DVD is not called DVD because he smuggles DVDs into it. Because his name is Don.
Just a misunderstanding. Vincenzo. So, all right. He's wringing out suds from his uniform, and then the bell rings. So, hard day's of work. Looking forward to a nice nap.
Not just a hard day's work. Remember, this is a torturous day because the warden for the last 12 hours has been who? The man who believes that Dom killed his father. So,
Don Warden.
No, Don. Don hates Dom. So Don makes Dom's life hell. And Dom can't wait for Dan to come in to relieve him.
Yes. In multiple ways, because when Dan's around, when Don's around, Dom can't piss.
He can't. Okay.
So when Dan's around, he's allowed to freely urinate. So
you do know what prison's like.
Yeah. If I see piss come out of that tip, it's back to solitary.
And he has to have his tip out the whole time just to make sure he doesn't piss in his pants.
There's like a little magnifying glass to check for drips every now and then.
Oh no, he's doing piss patrol.
Yeah.
Don's out for piss patrol.
So Dom goes back to his cell.
Mm-hmm.
And Dan...
Does Dom have his own cell or does he share a cell?
During the day, he shares a cell. But during night, because Dom and Dan... I'm getting confused with these names. Dom...
I don't know. Why?
And Dan get along really well.
Yeah.
So Dan then moves into his own cell where he can read whatever book he wants and not watch...
and watch any Blu-ray he pleases.
Yeah, from Blu-ray. So... Blu-ray really comes into the story.
Yeah, I know, obviously.
Well.
You're not going to just drop a character like that.
So Dan says, listen, Dom, come here. And then Dom scooches over to the cell. He puts his ear between the bars. And then Dan whispers into it, hey, Dom, can you hear me? Am I whispering too quietly?
No. I'm hearing it exactly the volume that I imagine Dom would hear it.
Good.
This is really visceral. This is great.
Hey, Dom.
Yeah.
I've got a way for you to get out of here.
Oh, you're kidding me. Is it through legal means?
No.
Through appeal?
It's through 7 drugs.
Why are you laughing?
Oh.
This is my life.
And then he starts talking normal volume because I can't whisper anymore.
Yeah, and he realizes that this is a special treat cell, so there's actually no one around.
Yeah, he goes, listen, Dom, to get out of here, there's 7 trials you need to do and you'll be free. And free, not only, he's not escaping, he's legally free. Know what I mean?
Yeah, this is what the place in this system. We understand prisons and we understand law. So we know that if you complete a certain amount of trials based on your crime, you will be granted freedom.
There's a trial of strength, a trial of will, courage. What else?
I can't wait to scrap most of these. But
yeah. Maybe there's 3 trials.
Okay.
Courage, will, and strength.
Complete these trials 3.
Okay, so
and you will soon
be as free as me. Yeah, yours is better.
Yeah, I think free rhyming with 3.
Say it again.
If you complete these trials 3, then surely the law says you'll be free.
Yeah. So what's interesting, because just to tie Dom's career into it, he's a mortgage broker. If you forgot it already.
How could I forget?
He's got a bad rap People
What?
think he's murdered someone.
What?
And they don't want him to break their mortgage anymore. So he has to find the person who committed the murder
Yeah.
to then clear his name so he can begin giving people loans.
So his motivation isn't freedom from a life sentence in prison.
No,
The way he clears him, he just really wants to get back to doing what he does best, which is
pull his sleeves up.
Dodgy mortgage.
Yeah. With
Brokerage.
non-bank lenders specifically.
That's why they're called Dom and Don and all that. And Vincent.
So and was it Mark? Mark's a bit of the odd one now, isn't he?
Yeah, well, it's Marco.
Marco Warden. Okay, and the shared wife.
He anglicized his name to fit in this place that they live
in this prison.
Oh, his wife. Her name's Donatella. So Don married Don, which is awkward. So they just call the wife Teller for short, like Penn and Teller. They just call her Teller.
Yeah, and she doesn't speak, just like Teller.
That's good because I was really worried we're going to have a woman character in this movie.
I figured out the ending for the film.
Oh, all right.
That's John Ben. So Teller doesn't speak, and she hasn't been speaking for a few months because one of her husbands murdered her father-in-law.
Oh shit!
Is it Don or is it Dan?
That is really good. I really like that. I was like worried. I wasn't sure how big the universe was going to become in this story. Where we're going to have to like include new characters, but that is fantastic.
Yeah.
And she was so traumatized by witnessing the murder, and she's too afraid to say anything because she's married to the murderer.
One of the two, but she doesn't know which because they are identical. And it was between the exact moment between their shifts the murder took place.
Oh my
from
god!
5:59 to 6:01. Marco Warden was murdered.
Fuck.
And Dominic, his alibi was not airtight.
Oh my god!
And that's how he found himself in this predicament.
And this is amazing because we're meant to think the whole time that it was probably the evil brother. Like we don't know, by the way. You don't tell me the ending, but I'm going to say the confusion is that we assume that it's Don, and that's why Dan's so nice. But we also how does Dan know for sure that he didn't murder that Dom wasn't the one that murdered him?
Exactly. And why is Dan setting these trials to help Dom get free?
Well, I was going to ask that question regardless of the circumstances.
It's a pretty pressing question. It's just to push the plot forward, really. Yeah. It's just a device.
It's a reliable, great device, yeah.
Yeah. So Dan says to Dom.
Wait a minute. I'm loving this, but who was playing all who was acting? Who are the actors? Who are we casting for this film?
Well, Nick Giannopoulos plays Don and Dan. Marco is played by.
Well, Marco, do we see Marco? Oh, just in like the reenactment. Maybe does the movie start with Marco being murdered, and so we get a scene of.
It's Joe Pesci. So Joe Pesci as Marco gets murdered.
Yep.
You just see him fall, and he goes and falls back. Yeah,
he's screaming.
Yeah.
He's like falling off a really quite a high building, and he screams the whole time.
Yeah, and he looks into a light, and he goes, "Who is that? Is that someone I know?"
He's like, "Who's that? I recognize that face," but he knows all three of them.
Because he broke his mortgage.
Of course. He's a mortgage broker.
This is getting good. This is getting really good. So, yes, that's this opening scene, and then it cuts to like 3 months later. Dom in cuffs. Dom ringing suds out of a. Yes.
And then as he walks past, we get the cock inspection and the abuse from Don.
Don, yeah.
And then Dean swaps over, and then we get the relief. Dan, sorry, Dean.
There's a Dean too.
Who the fuck is Dean?
I'll tell you in a second.
Okay.
Because Dean is now a crucial character. It's another D name I need.
Dean, aka Blu-ray.
Yeah. So he says, all right, the first trial is a trial of courage.
What kind of trials? Who plays Dom?
I was thinking maybe you could.
Oh God, very creative.
Yeah, bring you into the story.
We'll just make it Timothée Chalamet. We'll just go with the trends to make the movie popular.
Dan says to Dom, trial of courage. Here's what you've got to do.
And Frenchie says what?
Yeah, he goes, what's the trial? And he says, all you have to do is let's because it's Timothy.
What does he say? He says, "What's the trial?" He doesn't say why. He doesn't say. He's all chips in. He trusts. What's his name? Dan with his life. So he doesn't even question this scenario.
So because we've got Timothy, we might as well have a little throwback to June. So he gives him a box and says, all you have to do is put your hand in this box for as long as you can.
It's just got shit in it or something.
Yeah.
It's just really gross. This is courage. This is courage, is it?
Yeah.
How about Dan's shit?
Oh, no, Mark's shit.
Because he shat himself when he died?
Yeah. It's just like his shitty undies from when he fell off the building.
So this is good because we sympathise with, we're on the team Dan, but we're getting like weirder. Like, why is he doing these horrible things? Like, he's basically torturing this person he's meant to be helping.
No, but you yourself have gotten a mortgage. There's so many holes you have to get through. So this is just a little bit of a punishment for making.
So not only is Dan know that. Well, we understand, regardless of whether he did it or not, he knows that the murder didn't happen. But he's also decided that while he's in prison, he may as well pay for some of his crimes that he did commit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. So morally, Dan is. I don't even know. He's a complex character.
The ambiguity and complexity is good because that is the mystery. This is a murder mystery, this film.
Yeah, true. It was originally a bit of a, like a prison break movie, but now murder mystery is quickly becoming a murder mystery.
Like most of our ideas.
Yeah. So Dom puts his hand on the shit and pulls his hand out and sees he's got a shitty hand. He's like, great, what's next?
Can I have a wet wipe or something?
He just wipes it on the bars. Yeah. Next is the trial.
Why? That's so disrespectful.
Next is the trial of.
He deserves this prison sentence. He sounds like a horrible person.
What was the strength? What was the other one?
Strength and
courage, strength, and.
Would make it cunning or something. Make it
cunning. All right. So I wish I remembered. Everyone's going to be so disappointed when we get this far out. I wonder what this third trial is going to be.
Just rewind, idiot. It was
strength. He has to lift a car. So he takes him to the butt.
Like in the Monkey Paw, where it's like, I wish I was strong enough to lift a car. It's like, okay, and then I make him really weak, but you can pick up a matchstick car.
Yeah. That's what was going to happen.
And Dan, Dan's he's a freak, man.
Cunning.
He's
Yeah.
There's something wrong with Dan's brain.
Yeah. I want to know what this last trial was. Strength, cunning, and No, it wasn't cunning. Strength, courage.
Endurance.
Endurance. It was endurance.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So Dan and Dom go down to the car park. Dom lifts up a car. All right, what's the next thing?
Oh, we're heading through these. So we're in the first act. These trials are just like a...
Yeah, the trials just set the story. So there's the third one. He just has to do the 100-meter dash and beat the world record.
That's not endurance. That's not endurance. That's burst.
100-kilometer dash.
Oh, fuck.
And beat the world record.
But then he just uses the car.
Yeah, that's it.
The small car he lifted.
And then Dan says, originally there was 7 trials, as you know, and I cut 4 of them. And you just mixed cunning, intelligence, and endurance into one. So now let's do another trial. How many trials is that?
So is Dan more of a
sociopath?
Sociopath who likes like riddles and like
He is in another. So 10 years from now, he actually becomes the Riddler.
Okay, this is after the sitcom.
Yeah. So the sitcom's a prequel.
Oh, right, of course.
So Dom beats all the trials pretty quickly. He escapes.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So he's out. Fuck, he's already out.
Act 2 is him trying to solve the murder. He goes to the library, reads old newspapers.
Gets really bored. Fills in the crosswords and
just shit like that. Just just
looks for the best Far Side one. He can cuts it out and puts it in his pocket to show someone later.
In his wallet.
In case he goes back to prison, he wants it on the wall. His cell.
So Act 2 goes by pretty quickly.
What's the conclusion? What's the
Act 3?
How does Act 2 end?
Oh, he's hot on the tail of the murderer.
Oh, okay. What evidence does he find out?
He finds.
Do you already have the ending? You just want to get to that, and then we can make up the rest. No, you just want to rush Act 2. I hate Act 2 is always the most boring. Act.
It's just I'm a little,
In fact, Act 2 is so bad. Often we just repeat it again to make it better for the third act.
Yeah, and it's worked. It's worked.
Tried and true.
So then what happens is he redoes the trials again.
Wait, is he on the run, by the way? Is he like...
No, he's a free man from the trials.
So he's been... So what is
Act 2? I
Don
figured out
think
Act
of
2.
this? Oh, you figured it. Oh, good.
Yeah, Don hires a bounty hunter, Dean, who's Blu-ray.
Blu-ray. He lets Blu-ray out, but illegally.
He doesn't let him out. He has to do other different trials to get out illegally.
Yeah.
And do you want to know those trials?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I don't want to know those trials.
Okay.
So he has something to do with Blu-rays. I don't know.
Have you seen Fear Factor? It's just like eating slugs and stuff, basically.
Yeah. So Joe Rogan.
Is Joe
Rogan going to be? Maybe he can be played by Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
That'd be great. I'd love to have a film with Joe Rogan in it. Okay, so Blu-ray / Dean is played by Joe Rogan.
Yeah, and he escapes after eating a bowl of slugs.
Which he didn't, which wasn't part of the trial. That was to see we needed the protein before he left. He's like, can I just finish my slugs? And he's like, yeah, I need you to get out there and kill Dom ASAP. And he's like, okay, but let me finish my slugs.
And he's sitting there like picking them out.
And there's just about 5-minute scene of him just doing slurping away.
Yeah. And have you seen Ghost Story when Rooney Mara eats that whole pie for like 9 minutes?
Rooney?
It's pretty much that scene, but with a bowl of slugs, and he's crying while he eats them.
He's crying because he's going to be free, and he's so happy, and he's also eating his favorite meal
and his favorite animal.
What's your favorite animal?
Slugs.
Well, let's just say it's edible. Oh, okay, like a cow. I don't know, a slug. Oh, right. Is that an insect? Yeah, but are insects animals? I guess so.
Are they insects? I don't think they're insects. There's something else.
Slugs.
There's a word for it. Yeah.
Okay, fans. Please email anthonyfrith69@gmail.com what a slug is, what category it fits into.
It's not an insect.
It's not a fucking animal either. Dipshit.
Let's not get into semantics.
Okay. Well, I think we're focusing too much on the slugs, and it's an important scene. It's about 5 minutes worth of the film, but
yeah,
we've got to move on.
It's one shot of a man eating slugs, slow dolly in. So it's a wide shot of him sitting down, crying, eating the bowl of slugs. The camera moves in slowly until you see just his lips munching on slugs.
Slug bits.
Cut to the next scene. He has a.
It's back to him again.
Yeah, so Blu-ray had.
You know, in films when you finish like an epic crescendo or like whatever on one character, when you change scenes, you can jump to the other characters and what they're doing.
No. Sometimes. Okay, so all right, let's cut to Dom. Dom's in the library doing puzzles. Blu-ray comes in.
Keeping his brain active, doing that brain training on his DS.
Yeah, just in case he has to do more trials.
Yeah, well, in case he has to go back to being... He wants to be a mortgage breaker. He wants to be, on his feet.
Blu-ray comes in. He has a CD case of Blu-rays, and he starts flinging them out, and they hit...
Oh, like Odd Job, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they cut away all of Dom's clothes until he's naked. And Dom, after like a few minutes of realizing all his clothes are missing, gets up and sees Blu-ray and goes, shit, because he knows exactly what's happening.
Yeah, and then Blu-ray says it's slugging time, and starts punching his what do you call that when you punch your own hand? A tough guy. He starts tough guying, saying time to slug you, because slug is an old term that means hit.
Yeah,
you get that right, because you didn't really acknowledge how good that joke was.
It was good.
And they call him Slugger, and then he gets really pissed off, and he's like, "My name's needs Blu-ray because I also throw Blu-rays.
Yeah.
He's got too many. He's got a lot going on. This character.
Yeah, well, people like complexity in their characters.
They do, yeah.
So Dom runs away. Blu-ray follows. Is it?
He's sprinting, and you know he's got good. We assumed he'd have good endurance based on his, but that was actually car trial. So is he a fit guy though? Naturally,
No.
so it's not like an action. This is an action scene of him being like really impressed, scrambling over fences and jumping.
There's a lot of that,
buildings.
but you can see how tired he is.
Yeah, he's throwing up. He's just throwing up the whole time. And
yeah, and it works because
bloodshot.
Blu-ray slips on the vomit and he gets away. A clean getaway.
Oh, nice. And he goes, Blu-ray slips and he slides on it and he goes, he got away, but at least I got to know what it feels like to be a slug for a minute.
Yeah. And then when Blu-ray's enjoying being a slug, Dom comes back with handcuffs.
Ah, yep.
Cuffs Blu-ray and says, "Who sent you?" Blu-ray doesn't answer. He says something.
Blu-ray says you can't unlock those special features on this.
Yeah, I was trying to think of an Easter egg joke, but I couldn't. So that's good. Yeah, you can't unlock the Easter egg, and I'll let you know. Punches him in the nuts. Dom punches him in the nuts. Says, "How's that Easter egg, bucko?"
That's a great line. Everyone's going to quote that as well. How's that Easter egg, bucko?
Yeah,
Jordan Peterson.
Then Blu-ray says it was Don. No, it was Dan, the Night Warden.
Oh.
Yeah, you didn't expect that, did you?
No, because they look exactly the same.
Yeah.
So we assumed it was Don.
But that's where Blu-ray's getting confused. It actually was Don that sent him.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, and this is really good because this is now making us think more and more that it's Dan that did it, and we because Dan couldn't get him killed in prison. It'd be traced back to him too easily. So we had to get him out of prison to kill him. Well, that's what we're thinking. Is that the case? I don't know. I do not know. The only person who knows the truth is a little old lady called Teller, who does not speak.
She does not want to speak about the horrors she witnessed.
And this is the end of Act 2, by the way.
Yes.
When you find out that Dan is the one that sent Blu-ray to kill Don.
Yeah.
Don.
So Teller doesn't speak, but she texts.
You love text messages.
So what happens is Dom texts Teller. He gets a number from a clairvoyant.
No, he finds it in the newspaper.
Oh yeah, that's better.
He's like, he's going to the newspaper and he's like, wait, I know this name. I know that surname,
Yeah.
Warden.
Teller Warden.
And so, because she's advertising, she is a clairvoyant.
Yes, that's why I was getting confused, everyone.
Yeah. That's right.
So he texts her and says, who did the murder? And she texts back, Don. No, Dan.
Oh, she does straight away.
She texts back Don and then writes back, no, wait, Dan. And then, no, wait, ... It was both of them.
Oh my God.
So, Dom,
why can't we make her do a seance to find it out since she's a clairvoyant?
Well, that's what was going to happen.
Sorry, I jumped the gun. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry for putting words in your mouth.
Dom goes to Teller and says, listen, I've dug up the head of Mark Warden. He puts the head on the table and says...
It's Joe Pesci's head.
That's Joe Pesci's head.
With slugs coming out of the eyes.
Blu-ray's slurping him out.
Oh, yeah, because Blu-ray's on the team now.
Yeah. He, after... Dom gave him the ability to be a slug for a little bit, and then now Blu-ray's forever
indebted to him.
Yeah. So he's joined.
That's prison. That's prison rules.
Yeah. So she does some magic. Mark comes back to life and says, "Listen, both." He's like really matter of factly. Listen, it was Don and Dan. They wanted my fortune. All he had was a few $100s worth of stocks. They killed.
No. His fortune is tied up in mortgage investments.
Fuck, that's good.
And the only way so this is what happened, okay? Dan and Dom Dan and Don agreed to kill their father to get the access to his finances. They killed him. They found out they couldn't get access to it because it was still tied up in mortgage investments. They realized if they can get, that's why they put our old mate in prison.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to be able to ring him out. So they were going to give him the old good cop,
just like
bad cop.
Was ringing out suds at the start of the movie.
That's the connection, the symbolism there. Mm-hmm. And they want to ring him out, and that's why they played good cop, bad cop, and this whole thing was a setup. And
Good Warden, Bad Warden. That's the name of the film.
Yes. Yep. And then so he realizes it all starts to come in. He's like clicking his brain. He's like all the flashbacks to all these different ideas and the money and the mortgage stuff and all this thing. And but what's going to happen? How are they going to reveal this? What are they going to do? What's his response going to be?
They go to the press. So not only is Blu-ray a Blu-ray enthusiast, he has a podcast called The Blu-ray Experience.
Yes, very good.
So he brings this out to the open, and then there is a
I got an idea. Actually, he uses his podcast to lure Don and Dan to a spot. So he says, if you want
to be interviewed on the Joe Rogan, the
Blu-ray Experience, or if the Blu-ray Experience are doing a promo event where anybody who comes will be given free access to one mortgage account.
Wow.
And they're
of their choosing,
exactly. And they're just like, this is too good to be true, but they're so greedy.
They don't realize it's a trap.
That they go for it, yeah.
This is really good character stuff.
This is really good character
Using
stuff.
their character against them.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what this Blu-ray's just a clever. Blu-ray's been around the traps. Like Blu-ray's been in and out of prison.
I mean, I listened to the Blu-ray Experience.
Has experienced what it's like to be a slug. Like Blu-ray has had a wealth of life experience.
So then Dan and Don show up at this mystery location, which not even us as the viewer knows because it's so mysterious.
Wait a minute. We don't know. Even with the establishing shot, we have no idea where they are, like in a warehouse or...
No, it's just grey. It's a grey shot.
Well, I like the idea of it being a place that we don't know because then there can be a reveal in that scene where it convolutes or twists something. I like that.
Yeah, so there's a grey shot and it just white text and it says establishing shot of the secret location. And then we cut to a different, slightly darker shade of grey to just show that we're inside.
Are we going to get 50 Shades of Grey? What's going on here?
That's good.
Oh, thanks.
So, and then I guess they just get arrested.
Oh, come on. You always leave out the best bits.
Okay. So
this is the final fight. This is the showdown, the big fight scene between the two. So this is Slugger, Blu-ray, who you know has got like...
I know where they are. I figured out. So fuck all the grey shit. 50 Shades of Grey was a shit joke. Fuck you.
Wipe it from the record.
Are at an MMA thing and they have to have a cage fight.
Yes. Then this is why we cast Joe Rogan.
Yes.
Because he commentates it, doing the Blu-ray Experience.
Yes. And it's a handicap match, 2 versus 1.
Fuck.
So,
but good thing there's a secret weapon coming, by the way.
Yes.
In the form of seance magic and a little someone's favorite animal, a slug.
Give me a second how to tie this all together.
We'll make it a wrestling match more so because you don't really like MMA, but you know wrestling. And I think a slug could come into that more like...
Yeah. The Salted Slug. That's the name of the gym that they're fighting at. The Salted Slug.
Oh, that's going to be the move that Blu-ray teaches to
well,
Dom.
The gym's named after Blu-ray's special move. So,
duh.
It's an acrobatic move. So Dom climbs up the turnbuckle.
Oh, Jim's going to be so good. Dom's going to use all the skills that he gained from his trials.
Yeah, I was thinking that. So Like those trials were so useful. Was it touching shit, driving 100 kilometers, and lifting a car?
Do you know what it is? It's just the move is just when you like, because Don and Dan are big guys.
Yeah.
They're way about the same as a small car that Dom had to lift, and so and the salted slug is when you get salt on your arms. You salt your arms, and then you fist the asshole of two people and lift them up. And then, but then it's only effective if you can like endure it for an extended period of time.
Maybe, yeah. He salts his arms,
but it's good because it's going to be like a scene like in a 90s movie where the bad guy gets like hit in the nuts or whatever. But this time they're getting fisted up their hole.
Well, he punched Blu-ray in the Easter eggs.
Oh, he did.
Maybe he punches them both in the ball bag and holds them up from the balls.
All right, the Easter eggs. Oh, I got the perfect name for the film, by the way. I worked it all out. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. So the mortgage is what's tied up in their mortgage is actually tied to the family heirlooms, which they call the family jewels. And then he grabs them by the family jewels and does the punch. So that's the movie's called The Family Jewels.
Do you know what's in their balls, in the family jewels?
Wait.
Mortgage contracts.
That's at the end they find out.
Yeah, when they go to get surgery, and then the doctor's like doing.
Oh, in their actual balls. I thought you meant at some reason.
They both got vasectomies at the same time, and the surgeon's doing both at once with either arm. They're like on either side of him.
Yeah, he's doing the salty slug on him, is he?
Yeah, and he cuts the sack open, and then paper comes out, and he looks at him and says, well, these are mortgage contracts.
Or maybe when in the wrestling match it happens, he punches him in the family jewels and then their balls pop and then out comes mortgages.
Like balloons.
Yeah, like their balls roll out and then their balls break open like eggs and then inside are scrolled up little mortgages.
Oh, that's good.
It's very good. I know.
Yeah. I think that's about it for this one. I think we've cracked this movie.
No, I want to finish it well. So
does it need it?
Yeah.
Sometimes leaving stuff up to the audience is just as valuable as spelling it out.
Well, I think we got to find something out about through the when both the guys the wardens end out in prison, right?
The wardens end out of prison, and Dom marries Teller.
Yep, and Blu-ray marries Teller
also, but they work the same job at different times.
No, the experience job is a night job. The Blu-ray experience, and then the mortgage broker is a day job, so they swap.
Yeah,
it's classic. And so Teller's very happy, and she speaks, and she talks again. She's talking again. Yeah. But they actually do get access to the mortgage inheritance, the family jewels. And what's that going to be? It's going to be something really funny at the end where they work out.
Do you know what it is?
What?
Slug farm.
Oh, that's right. The family jewels are they're worth just enough for them to buy all of them to live on a giant slug farm that they buy together.
Yeah,
that's beautiful. That's so good. And so Teller can keep doing her clairvoyancy.
Yeah,
and Don can be his mortgage broker, and Blu-ray can do his podcast and live with slugs. Does he eat them still?
I love that Blu-ray gets the happiest ending. He gets a wife, a slug farm, and gets to continue his dream job, and he gets out of prison. Yeah, a free man. He did the crime that he committed, but the judge liked him so much he just ripped it up. He ripped up the
The judge was like, "Look, you've proven beyond a doubt that you've redemption
rehabilitated.
You're rehabilitated after. Okay, you've murdered all of those children, but you have redeemed yourself."
Yeah, in my eyes,
in my slug-loving eyes, because it turns out the judge was also a slug lover.
The judge is a slug in one of those white wigs, just a big slug.
But Blu-ray eats slugs, right?
So
the whole time Blu-ray's just licking his lips.
licking his chops, yeah. But he respects them as much as he eats them.
Yeah.
So he respects a judge of high power. He respects a slug of high power. Sludge.
He's like, I would never eat a judge slug. Like, I would never dream of doing something like that. Maybe a peon slug, yes.
Exactly.
Maybe a worker slug. I would definitely slurp that up, but not a judge.
No respect for any slug under him.
Well, I mean, this is Joe Rogan, so he doesn't understand or appreciate the working class at all.
Yeah.
He's completely out of touch.
Overall, I would watch this one.
Yeah, this is about a 7 to 9.5 out of 10, I reckon. This is a really good one.
You've been listening to So I Had This Idea, which was created by me, Anthony Frith.
And me, Joshua-Davies Thain. Thanks for listening.
Have you ever competed trials for your freedom?
Yeah, in the Olympics, when I was a gladiator. Yeah, right.